Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKxJUMP here, and today we're going to be taking a look at this week's event for Idle Heroes. And pre-warning, I imagine a lot of you are going to go into this without really thinking, and you could end up getting yourselves into a bit of a mess. One big problem with this event is there's lots of different ways to accumulate rewards, but sometimes by making progress in one area, you won't actually get the rewards you're looking for. So we're going to break down this event in a way that hopefully makes you use the least amount of gems possible and is hopefully as efficient as possible as you approach this, because we know that anniversary is coming soon. We've got a big Sky Labyrinth event next week, so obviously using your gems efficiently is going to be something you need to do this week, because next week and anniversary are going to require gems as well. That said, also if you're a big spender, you might find that this event isn't quite giving you the value you're looking for, but it really depends on where you kind of sit on the fence of what is and what isn't good value. In my opinion, it's not jumping out to me as something where I want to spend, but either way, let's go ahead and break it down so that you guys have a pretty good idea of what to expect this week. And as always, guys, please, I want to stress this now before you click off the video. Really make sure that when you do go and do this event, you wait until Thursday, because this event is going to sting you if you don't. So every day for logging in, we're getting the usual profit orb, but this time it's also 5 sweet lollipops, because we now have this fantasy lollipop event. One big thing that we get this week that we didn't normally is a 5-star shard, which is pretty nice because of the blessings of the Boat Dragon Festival, 5 heroic summon scrolls, which will be useful in anniversary, and also some gems. But unlike last week, we don't get 30 lollipops, which were given to us for free because of the beginning of the fantasy lollipop event in the rotation. Now that it is considered a official event that we will get regularly, you no longer get that bonus of lollipops moving forward, so you need to be aware that you're not going to get as many honey stars as normal if you consider normal what happened last time, because 30 lollipops is pretty significant. It's probably enough to do 2 completes of floors in the fantasy lollipop event. So we will take a look at that. We will break that down and give you a good idea of what you should really expect, and also from this event as a whole, where you should be putting your resources. So let's start off by looking at the cool events. First of all, the Good Fortune event is coming to an end, so if you're able to get lucky during Imp's Adventure, or by getting good stuff from the campaign loot drop, you should be able to get yourself some decent rewards here, namely the Gloric Epic Hero Selection Chest if you didn't spend any money or don't plan on spending any Universal Crystals, because this is going to pick you up any hero in the game except for Freya. So you can get Light and Dark heroes from here, so if you're a new player and you're looking for maybe like a carry or a Drake, you can pick them up from this chest, which is super duper helpful. Those of you that do want to use your Universal Crystals, I recommend pushing towards the Mysterious Artifact Selection Chest, because artifacts are very important. But if you're a little deeper into the game and Star Spawns are your priority, you can also pick up Star Spawn cores, and also flags are available too. Of course, if you spent, you probably had a good idea of what you were chasing, so you go do what you were planning. In addition, there are skin shard packages which you can pick up to help you get legendary skins in the Celestial Island, and leftovers can be spent on profit orbs and scrolls and other stuff that you may need for future events. Heck, you might even want to get profit orbs for this week because it's a profit orb event, or just stockpile on scrolls because we have heroic summon scrolls needed for anniversary. So a lot of stuff you guys can go ahead and chase. In addition, we have the value packages for this week. This is the main stuff. You'll notice immediately the $100 pack is giving you 35 sweet lollipops, whereas a $10 pack is only giving you 3. So if you bought 10 of these $10 packs, you would only get 30 lollipops, because actually the $100 pack is the best value. Even this one here that's 50 bucks is only giving 17, which doubled is 34. So actually the better value here is the top package, which kind of is a bit annoying. It means that if you're going to spend $100 is the best way to go, but obviously not everybody just wants to throw $100 at an event. In fact, I don't even know if it's worth spending this week. I guess there is some value in these Real Gar wines, which we will look at for the Dragon Boat Festival, but besides that, obviously, whether you want to spend is up to you, but profit orbs aren't normally something people are willing to chase. Also, you can grab these packages with starry gems as well, just bear that in mind. Moving on, we have the Fantasy Factory itself. So this is where you go ahead and put in shapes and basically clear out zones, and you get yourself some honey stars for every single hex cleared. When you exchange these honey stars, you have to remember that you can only buy things from stores, and you will unlock the next stage after buying 2 things from the stage before. My advice is, whenever possible, always buy Aurora stars, because Aurora stars can be stockpiled for future events and spent as if you got them this week, because honey stars are only able to be spent the week you get them. So if you stockpile enough of these Aurora Stars, eventually you may even, as a free-to-play player, be able to get yourself a mysterious artifact selection chest without spending any money at all. But you do need to stockpile 800 Aurora Stars to get to a point where you can get that bonus 800. Obviously, you might not even need that many. It depends on how lucky you get and how much progress you can make during one of these events. Also, bear in mind, you do get bonus honey stars from the jigsaw tile, which a lot of us will be hitting. I'm on 6 out of 9, so when I clear this, I'll get to 7, clear it, get to 8, and when I clear it, when it says 8 out of 9, that'll be my 9th clear, and that'll be congratulations to me. I've unlocked the thing. So that'll unlock the jigsaw page, and the jigsaw page gives a variety of different amounts of honey stars. Now this is really important. You could see yourself only getting around 80. Some people have said they've got as much as 200. It's kind of wild, the disparity between the amount of honey stars that you can get from the jigsaw stage. And this is why I'm suggesting that people should wait until the end of the event before going and cashing in anything, or even considering whether to spend their gems on lollipops, because you can buy lollipops for 200 gems, and that allows you to place one of these shapes in the zone. Now, the reason I'm recommending that you wait is because if you accumulate a certain number of honey stars, that's going to affect how you approach this event and how you want to spend, and it all comes down to the dragon boat stuff, which we will look at in a second. So just bear that in mind. We will revisit this within that context. Moving on, we do have profit orbs, and these are giving some fantastic rewards. For 60 orbs done, you'll get yourself a seer, and for 80, a Holmes Young. These are fantastic rewards. You're getting your usual light and dark, you're getting core of transcendence for 60, and of course, glorious relics. This means that a full pass is actually pretty much worth it this week because you're getting some really good heroes, but it's whether it's worth it and gets you good rewards is the question you want to be asking yourself when it comes to what it gets you from bonus things, such as maybe an artifact selection chest. So we will work that out in the future, but overall, the heroes we're getting is good, so that's a big plus. Heroic Miracle as well is the new version where we have to do 3 light and dark 5 stars, which is a bit annoying. It used to be 2, but I guess we have to accept this now. In addition, it's 5 heroes from each of Forest, Abyss, Fortress, and Shadow, which does kind of suck. But I guess that's just the grave we have to lie in now, thanks to DH Games adding in these lollipops as bonus rewards. These lollipops, you can get 20 from Heroic Miracle. If you bear in mind, you can buy 35 with gems, and you get 35 throughout the week because you're getting 5 every day for logging in. You can get a total of 90 sweet lollipops, which is going to clear somewhere between 5 and 6 floors in the Fantasy Factory. And that's a very important number. I would recommend it's probably going to be up 5 floors. I think if it's 6 floors, you've been crazily lucky, but 5 floors is much more realistic. And that means you probably don't have to go and buy all these lollipops with gems. You don't have to buy every single one of them. It's just you can. And if you go ahead and clear 5 floors, that's going to get you 84 lots of honey stars times 5. And that's going to be a grand total of 420. Now, why is that number important? Well, if you go your way through the exchange store, if you go ahead and buy everything on the right-hand side, so you ignore the left column, buy everything on the right-hand side because this is the best value, you will spend 440 getting this 9-star light puppet and these Aurora stars here. So considering it's 420 for doing 5 floors, do a little bit on top of that, and you will get yourself to 440, and congratulations, you've got yourself the Aurora Stars and the Light Puppets. Now, if you can push a little bit higher, well, we'll work out why that could be beneficial later on. But remember that 440, and I really want to stress that number, is enough to complete Stage 4 by getting yourself the 9-star Light Puppet and the Aurora Stars. So let's go and move and look at the Dragon Boat Festival event. So the first thing you need to understand is that the Real Gar wine that we're going and cashing in can be used to increase the affection levels on Olivia or Sia. Normally, it will increase their affection level by 1 point. And if you get to 10 points, the affection level will increase as a total. In the case of Sia, though, it's 15 points. So you need to remember that these two are completely different, and they're also offering different rewards. Now, my recommendation would straight up to be to chase Sia, because if you look at Olivia's rewards, she's getting you at 1 level some scrolls, at 3 levels a glory epic chest, at 5 levels a glorious flag, 7 is a skin, 10 is a light puppet, 13 is one of these skin selection chests, and then at 17 it's another light puppet, and at 20 it's going to be a mysterious artifact selection chest. So to get all the way up to the mysterious artifact selection chest, you need to get her affection up by 200 points. Because remember, each level is 10, and we wanted to go ahead and get 20 different levels of affection. Now, when you give her a Real Gar wine, it could be 1 point, but there is a 10% chance that it's 2 points and a 5% chance to get 3 points. So on average, one real gar wine is going to be about 1.2 points of progress. Now, is that good? Well, it's helpful for working out how successful you're going to be, but in reality, obviously, distributions are going to be different. Some people are going to get very lucky. Some people are going to get very unlucky. It really depends how your real gar wines play out. But fortunately, there are ways to top up the amount of real gar wines you get, and I will break down how you get them in a second. But now if we look at Sia and compare that to Olivia, who needed 200, Sia gives you a mysterious artifact at level 5, and even though it requires 15 to get there, it's actually only 75 points, because 15 times 5 is 75. She's giving you profit orbs as well. She's giving you a 9-star light puppet and this mysterious artifact selection chest. This to me seems like a much better deal. If you get to 7 as well, you're getting a 10-star light puppet, and if you get to 10, you're getting one of these skin selection chests. And if, God forbid, you manage to get all the way to 13, you are getting again a mysterious artifact selection chest. So looking at this, Sia is just the better side to go on, because it's getting you way more artifacts, much better puppets, and like Olivia just doesn't come close. Like, she's giving you selection chests that don't really offer much, and flags just, for me, aren't as good value as artifacts, because artifacts are necessary, flags are bonuses, right? There's no point boosting up a hero and its tenants if you don't have the proper artifacts for them. So in my opinion, mysterious artifacts are just a better decision to have on your account. Either way, it's considerably easier to get to this mysterious artifact selection chest, and you're going to need around 60 to 65 of these real gar wines to get the 75 points you need for the affection level. Mathematically, it works out at around 63, so that's why I'm going with 60 to 65. I think you might even need to get 70 if you get really unlucky, so you got to bear that number in mind. It really depends how lucky you get with your real gar wines. So 60 to 65 is a good number to aim at. Let's say 65 and we all get unlucky. That's probably a safe way to bet. So how do we get these real gar wines? We get them from the Dragon Boat Racing. And this is going to get confusing because there's 2 different currencies. To do the Dragon Boat Racing, we need Wormwood Cake. And Wormwood Cake will be accumulated to row our boat along and get different packages. If you get to 20 of the cake, you get 10 real gar wine. 50, an additional 10. 90 is 15. 140 is 20. 200 is another 20. 250 is another 25. And 300 is another 25 as well. Also, notably, you are getting other rewards here. The biggest thing here, I think, is that for 200, you're getting a 9-star puppet. But it's not so simple as getting all the way up to 200, because if you look at how you accumulate the cake, it's not that easy. The easy ones that you'll be able to do as free-to-play, budget, or even just players that are just playing the game is by getting 5-star heroes from the Summon Circle, Creation Circle, Summon Shards, or the Compass of Transcended. You can do that 35 times. So that's 35 cakes that we can pick up just by summoning 5 stars. In addition, by doing tavern quests of 4-star or higher, you can get additional cake up to 25 times. So straight up, we can get 60 of these cakes without doing anything other than just getting 5 stars and tavern quests completed. Unfortunately, 60 is only going to get you to here, which is only 20 real gar wine, which is not going to get you anything at all. So we must look further for where we can get progress. Every 5 profit orbs used will get you an additional cake, and every single time you spend 10 honey stars in the shop, you will get an additional cake. Now, one thing I really want to stress is a lot of people are thinking, ooh, I get rewards for doing profit orbs, or ooh, I get rewards for doing honey stars. Let's go really heavy on those. But one thing that people are completely overlooking when they approach this event is that if you get 90 points, right? That's still a lot. 90 is huge, okay? Because you still have to get the 60 for free, and 30 points is 30 times 5 profit orbs. That's still a whopping 150 profit orbs you would need to use just to get the 30 points to take you to 90, right? But then when it comes to consuming honey stars, you have to be able to efficiently consume them. And as I mentioned, 440 is a really nice cutoff point for honey stars. So let's say we get 44 points from there. Add to that we can get the 60 for free. That's still just 104. But if I get to 90... or 104, it doesn't matter. I'm still only getting the rewards for 90. You need to bear in mind, if you are going to go beyond a point here from a chest, you need to bloody well hope that you are getting to the next chest. If, for example, you did tons of profit orbs to get further beyond 90 and you got to 130, all of those orbs would be wasted. You wouldn't get any bonus rewards for them because the difference between getting to 90 in this Dragon Boat Racing and getting to 130 is nothing. Because if you don't get to 140, you don't get this bonus reward. And that is something I really want to stress because the point difference isn't a lot, right? 5 orbs is getting you 1 point. There are 50 points between 90 and 140, which means if you were going to try and get from 90 to 140 just off profit orbs alone, you would have to get 50 points from profit orbs, which is 50 times 5, 250 profit orbs to go from 90 to 140. Now, I don't know how many profit orbs you've got saved up, but that's the kind of mindset you need to have. Only consume them if by spending them, it's going to take you to the next chest. And that's why I recommend waiting until the very end of this event, because you need to know how many honey stars you actually get this event to be of a good position to understand how many profit orbs you need to spend. Because maybe you're going to spend some gems to push a little bit further on your lollipop event. Or maybe you think, oh, actually, I can top up with profit orbs. It's going to be a balance between pushing in the fantasy factory and pushing in profit orbs to get to the sweet spot here, which is 140. And now, why is 140 the sweet spot? Well, to go from 140 to 200, first of all, is 60 points, which is whopping, which means you're going to need to spend a ton of profit orbs and a ton of honey stars, which honestly just isn't that worth it. And it's only going to get you 20 additional real gar wines, which is only enough for maybe 1, 2, or if you're really lucky, 3 affection levels. And look, if you bump up Seer's affection level, like maybe let's say we get 1 extra affection level from getting the mysterious artifact selection chest, it's the same thing. I don't care if you got to 5 affection levels or 6 affection levels. The point is you didn't get to 7, right? You didn't get the 10-star light puppet. Also, is it worth doing a ton of profit orbs to just pick up a 10-star light puppet? Probably not. So what you need to bear in mind is if you're going to push, you know, you're going to have to probably get to 13 to justify that big leap. But from going from 5 all the way to 13 is 8 different levels of affection, which is totally unrealistic when it comes to picking up your real gar wine. There's one other place you can get real gar wine, and that's from these Zongzis. Every single time you go ahead and purchase these, you will get 1 real gar wine as well as a random reward. Each of these come from different factions. You can get artifacts, you can get hero copies, you can get Festival limited skins and normal skins as well, but do bear in mind it's worth checking the odds. The percentages weigh heavily towards crappy heroes that you do not want. That's 60% chance to get a crappy hero you do not want. For 1,000 gems, that's honestly the only reason to go for this is because it gives real gar wine. That's it. I'm just going to flat out say it. I don't care if there's a 1% chance to pick up something kind of good. It's a 1% chance to get a withered freaking armor. And even then, it's not a 1% chance to get withered armor. It's a 1% chance to get something that could be withered armor, but you're more likely to get something stupid like magical sacrifice. It's just not worth, unless, of course, you really need those real gar wines, because the final top-ups of real gar wines are the difference between getting to these additional affection levels. And by moving in the Dragon Boat Racing, you get 10 for 20. By 50, we'll get 20. The additional 15 takes us to 35 once we get to 90, and 140 takes us to 55. And you might remember we needed 75 affection to bump up to affection level 5 on our Seer. And you need about 60 to 65 to do that. Now, if we're getting to 55 real gar wines just by doing 140 in the Dragon Boat Race, that means we need to then spend 10,000 gems grabbing Zongzi, or maybe even less than that. Maybe more, depends how lucky you get. But then at least your gems, you can be careful pulling them in and figuring out, okay, how many of these real gar wines am I actually going to get? Now, obviously, you can go ahead and buy some real gar wines from all these packages. We have this here, for example, which is giving you double honey stars, which could be useful for this event if you wanted to double down on honey stars in the Dragon Boat Racing. But do bear in mind, you're only getting incremental bonuses that may or may not be the difference between whether you can actually get to additional tiers. And these tiers aren't giving that many real gar wines. This is giving 20, this is giving a 25, this is giving 25 as well. But the big jumps, like that huge jump between 140 and 200 is a big bridge to gap. It's 60 spaces. So if you get to 140 to 190, you're still not getting that additional stuff you would have got if you got to 200. So bear in mind, going heavy on orbs and heavy on honey stars might just end up with you getting a big number that's completely pointless. So again, let's talk about the numbers. Let's math this out. How can you effectively get to 140, which is the point that you need to then spend 10,000 or roughly gems on Zhongzi so that you can go and get yourself this mysterious artifact from Seer? Well, let's think. What's a nice number of profit orbs to use? Well, let's say we've got 160. That is, for those of you that don't know, 2 full completes. That's a really nice number for profit orbs. 2 full completes, 160, that's going to get you 32 worm cakes. Add that to the 60 we get, that's 92. That means we need 48 additional worm cakes from consuming honey stars. That means we need to consume 480 honey stars. So to go and consume 480 honey stars, what we then need to do is go to Cool Events, Fantasy Factory, and calculate a way that we can do that effectively. As I said, 440 is what you need to get the Light Puppet and the Aurora Stars here. That leaves us with 40 more to spend. So we could go ahead and pick up some Heroic Summon Scrolls, and that would be then 480 of these honey stars consumed. And you will probably get more or less depending on how you do in the jigsaw pattern, but at the end of the day, should you double down and spend even more gems to progress as far as you can and get as many honey stars as you can? Not really. It might be a waste. You might think, yeah, but I need to consume as many honey stars as I possibly can to push this event up. But honestly, it's only really worth doing that if it makes the difference, because you can't top it up with your profit orbs. If you go beyond 140, it doesn't matter how far you go beyond it. Unless you manage to get to 200, it's all a waste. And the difference to get there is like 600 honey stars, which is a ridiculous amount. No one's getting all the way up this. Or if you want to get more real Gar wine, you've got to go ahead and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of gems. You can spend up to 100 times. It's 100,000 gems just grabbing these Zhongzis. But the other problem, spending this real Gar wine, you need to do tons to bump her affection level to get you interesting rewards. So my advice for pretty much everybody is go ahead, get her affection level to level 5, and that's you done. Right? We've got massive events coming up. We've got next week's Sky Labyrinth. We've got after that anniversary. Loads of stuff is coming up. I think that's where you have to cut off. If people are recommending that you go all the way up to 13, to get there, you're going to need 165, roughly, when it comes to those wines. Great. That's on average. That's assuming you get exceptionally average luck. How do you get to 165? Well, you got to find a big 100 difference of real Gar wine. That could involve spending money. Good for you. But if you want to try and do that as a free-to-play player, that's going to require a ton of Zhongzis purchased and getting exceptionally lucky with your affection. And that's also going to require you to get a ton of honey stars, which honestly, you're limited with how many you can pick up. You can only grab 90 lollipops throughout the week, which is at most 5 to 6 different floors cleared, which then is only going to be like somewhere between 420 and just over 500 of these stars. Add on to that the jigsaw event, and you might get to 600, if you're really lucky, 700. That's still not enough to bridge the gap, unless of course you use a colossal load of profit orbs. And even then, just bridging this gap from 140 to 200 is getting you 20 real Gar wines. Remember how I said, if you want to go from 5 to 13, you're going to need an additional 100 real Gar wines? Yeah. I don't think getting that additional 20 for dropping a ton of profit orbs and using all of your gems on this lollipop event is worth it one bit. It's a lot of profit orbs to use. It just doesn't make sense to me. For 20 real Gar wine, which is not going to make a difference to your progress at all. Obviously, you can then buy even more real Gar wine if you go and spend gems, but that would be like 80,000 on Zhongzi. Who the heck, 2 weeks before anniversary, right before a Sky Labyrinth event, is spending 80,000 gems? Not me. I think it's the dumbest thing to do. So friends, I'll say it again. For Seer, we just want to get to level 5 on affection, and that's us done, and the most effective way to do that is to calculate an efficient route to get to 140 using honey stars and profit orbs. And obviously, if you don't have many profit orbs, you're going to have to lean heavier towards honey stars. And if you can't do either, you're going to want to have to stop at 90 and then spend way more gems on Zhongzi. Obviously, if you're not sure if you can bridge the gap between 90 and 140, I really don't want you guys to go and use every profit orb you've got and spend all your honey stars all over the place, totally suboptimally, using your gems to go and buy more and more and more lollipops, only to find that you go from 90 to 130 and you don't even get to 140 and the whole thing was a complete waste. So just please bear that in mind. This gap needs to be bridged for it to be worth it. And it's the same for 140 up to 200. As I said, final things you can do. If you really wanted to, you can buy these packages. This package is a worse version of the $100 package that you can get if you just go to the normal value packages, but it is giving you double honey stars and the ability to smash. I've already said it before, the smash feature is totally terrible. Quick clear in the lollipop thing is just crap. You shouldn't do it. Just do it manually. And of course, purchasing the honey stars, getting double amounts of them is nice, but I really don't like getting double honey stars because the rewards aren't doubled. I can't buy anything twice. Everything's limit frickin' 1. So, oh yay, I have twice as many honey stars, but I can't buy 2 mysterious artifact selection chests. I can only buy 1. So even if you're giving me loads of the currency, I'm forced to buy and spend it on this stuff that I probably don't even want to spend it on, right? I'm good. I don't want to go in heavy on all of this, right? So I think for a lot of people, you might find that you end up with a ton of honey stars, but then you actually don't want a load of the stuff listed. That could happen to some people. So just be a little bit careful. Also, you might find that you've got real Gar wine that just totally goes to waste. Like, the only reason to have additional real Gar wine is because either it stops you from spending more on Zhongzi, or it's going to be, the difference between getting, additional tiers that you could actually maybe push if you were going to spend some money to get this mysterious artifact selection chest over here. But then obviously, if you're spending some money and it pushes you a little bit higher, but not high enough for you to make any significant difference, it was a waste of money. And going in Olivia's side of the tree, I don't even rate at all, because I need to go all the way up to here to go and actually see some value and get this mysterious artifact selection chest. So yeah, overall, I think this event's kind of bait. I think all you have to do is go up to this tier level. I think anywhere further is just trying to catch people out and trick them and make them spend more resources than they really need to go and chase something that they're probably not going to achieve. And I hope that advice doesn't fall on deaf ears, and I hope it makes sense that, when you're trying to push these different areas, obviously, if you can't make it from one tier to the next, the spending is a complete waste. Let's look at next week's event. It's nothing too special. It's just Sky Labyrinth, Mysterious Chests, and the Wishing Fountain. Tix is the reward in Wishing Fountain. Mysterious Chest is going to get you an epic hero selection chest. And of course, Sky Labyrinth will be Sky Labyrinth, using our mithril pickaxes to make progress. We'll probably find, because this is before anniversary, there's going to be additional things added onto this. Maybe it's new updates coming out. Maybe it's fancy extra events that aren't leaked now, but we will see more of in the future, where we can spend some money, get some extra rewards. That would be nice to know about, but unfortunately it's not leaked, so we'll have to see just when it comes next week. And if you want to see what event is like next week, hit that subscribe button. I review these events every single week and give it a breakdown so that you guys know exactly how to approach this event to get the most efficient use out of your resources. Hopefully this has been useful. I don't think I'm going to spend at all on this event. I think it's just a trap. And yeah, hopefully you guys find some value out of this video. Until next time, guys, have a fantastic week. And of course, happy idling.